AKA this video ends when I lose a run, so pause if you need to look at the rules because they'll be on screen until they're gonna fade away now. And this video came up due to kind of a suggestion, but at the same time, I've put my own spin on things just for funsies. So I'm just more interested to see what would happen here, but for the purposes of getting through and trying to complete the run, we'll actually allow house rules for myself to choose. Of course, if I'm picking, say, GOIZO World of Horror character exclusive Toshiaki, then I have to do that, and then I could have chose the CTHAC Curious Birthmark run, but I decided not to. Also, I'm going to be needing to switch over to the rules when I need to check, as I see Charisma, Strength, Second Tachi-san, and Light Source, maybe. And I'm assuming this is from a post made somewhere, because I remember reading a post about Toshiaki being mid-tier if, you know, depending on certain factors. At the same time, I think that was dependent... No, I think it was an average of difficulties. Also, can't check the cupboard, so we're just actually gonna throw things away. That's not gonna result in anything, so house rules, it should be fine. Unless you suspect me of one, I could have just recorded this and gotten good runs, so if I if this video ends up being 40 minutes and I pass, it's like, oh, you just went for the good runs, but that would be a lot of wasted time. It might have been better to do as a stream. Festival, Ward, Painting, Metamorphosis, and Footage. Or maybe this would have been better to do as a stream, but if you want to see it, let me know. That way I can show you the authenticity of Toshiaki's power, question mark, assuming I survive. I think it's still, I mean, you are essentially neutering Toshiaki to a large extent if you do not allow certain things. Although I'm deciding whether to do Ward 4th or 2nd or 3rd. I think I'm going to do Footage first, then Metamorphosis maybe? We'll see. But I personally added the GOIZO Cure rule because I thought about it. What if you're not lucky? That's the other reason why I put in the whatchamacallit rule. Gosh dang it, hold on. Let me think. Oh, the book rule, because you're not always, and the cupboard rule, because you know we won't always get library notes. Fairly enough, we'll say it's 50-50, but I'm just gonna neuter Toshiaki even more and say he doesn't get the library notes, so hence why the no cupboard rule. And then the cure rule for GOIZO, which is the run I'm on, is more for, again, if you're a bit unluckier. Now, if you get super unlucky, that's a whole different issue, but there's still things you can do to come out of this challenge okay. I say Toshiaki is still a very strong character. Really, the negatives, the big negatives I put towards Toshiaki, if you were to argue he's not one of the best 3 characters in the game in general. Because here's the thing, he lowers Doom, and on Harbinger that's really, really valuable, because it is easy to forget, but the end of every mystery on non-Harbinger difficulties, Doom still decreases. And that's something Toshiaki directly helps with. Now on easier difficulties you could argue, well, oh, I forgot to get a weapon too. Well, we'll see what happens. We're Toshiaki, we're on GOIZO, we can run. I'll talk about that later, but as we roll a 1 there and get lucky, but he's supposed to fail a lot of events. There's a lot to say. I really like this character objectively, but it's also on non-Harbinger difficulties. You might argue, well, since Doom is decreasing, doesn't that mean Toshiaki's worse in a way? I don't really think so, because if you have extra Doom with Toshiaki, you are able to do more flexible options. This is most apparent in an Eldritch Parasite run. Whereas my strat for Eldritch Parasite most of the time is to grab Mind Drain and Ghostly Spear from the History Club and then run with it. That's more viable as Toshiaki because he obviously has more effective Doom to work with, so he can re-roll 40-ish times unless you want something else. But usually Mind Drain, Ghostly Spear is the double combination, and I just kicked something. But on easier difficulties, you can apply the same logic there. That's something Toshiaki specifically has for himself, as I think about getting this. I don't have anything else, though. I do have Doom. Well, we'll go into Metamorphosis now. But yeah, basically, you can apply the same logic for Toshiaki, and that's something Toshiaki has, because that's something that directly affects him. You know, obviously, if I were to go, let's say, oh, well, what if you pick up, this is a really exaggerated example, but if I pick up the katana, then I win as X character. Well, katana is something that every character can have. everyone resting on Goizo, even though it's 5 Doom, is something everyone can have. You'd have to go with specific arguments to apply an argument to a character. Like Toshiaki has more Doom on Eldritch Parasite, so he can reroll for Mind Drain and Ghostly Spear. On Goizo, Aiko has Hot Bath, so her baths don't hurt as much if and when you get that perk. Also specifically, which is you may be wondering why I put the cure rule, I forgot what the whole name is, in the Goizo run. It's because on Cure becomes more valuable on Goizo, because resting for Goizo is 4 HP for 5, and Cure is, I think, 6 for 7 Doom, 6 HP for 7 Doom. Now, obviously, there are some nuances in that, because 6 HP, you might need more stamina and or reason, but the end goal of what I'm trying to say is that the Doom that Toshiaki gets means a lot, and yeah, knowledge plays a part in it, but that's another whole other pet peeve that some players might have. It's like, why do I have to learn? That ruins the immersion of the game if I just learn all the events. But at the same time, we're actually going to throw this away just to play with this, because that's something, again, Katana is not a real, it does depend on your real life player luck, but at the same time. So Toshiaki in particular, I think he gets, if you get the library notes, you get to prep attack immediately, so it does make a big difference. That I have pretty much confirmed. And if not, after 2 strength, he can definitely do that, which is usually more than enough to obliterate anything. But as we finally run into an encounter here, the point I'm trying to make with Toshiaki for Goizo, because I heard that Goizo was a weak god for him, but it falls under a similar argument to CTHAC, whereas in CTHAC, for Toshiaki, yeah, he's forced to take damage, and he can't use the Doom to run, but essentially what you want to do with Toshiaki, for those who don't know, is you just face tank the damage. Now, sometimes that's not always feasible, but then you could argue other characters who don't have as great options on CTHAC also suffer the same thing. So how certain characters deal with, like, for Mizuki, you might want to prepare allies. For Yashiro, you might want to prepare a good weapon so you can level up and get Zeal and or on your own. For Toshiaki, you face tank things. But if you're on Goizo, you're not CTHAC, so you can just run away. So you don't have to face tank the damage. You get what I mean? You're doing like the opposite of each run, if I can try to explain that. I'm not doing a very good job because I'm trying to also focus, and that's something I need to get accustomed to. That being said, we are going to eat a bunch of damage here, so Metamorphosis is a very specific example, but at the same time, a lot of other characters, unless you try to save Metamorphosis for later, you experience similar issues. But at the same time, so here, I think we even just get to do this. No, we don't. So we just face tank another 3 all damage, but with the power of the Monkey Wrench. And yeah, even though I threw the Katana away, you could say, well, Jordan, you're using the Monkey Wrench, so isn't that like a similar argument to the Katana? Because the Katana is powerful, and the Monkey Wrench is objectively powerful, but if you believe that, then you have to argue with the people who think the Monkey Wrench isn't as great as it looks like. So therefore, if it's not a great weapon, then it doesn't follow the logic of, oh, throw it away like the Katana, because otherwise, you get where I'm trying to go with this? Yeah, it seems like I'm really on the defense of Toshiaki, and I kind of am, but at the same time, we can flip that around and say, I don't get why people think Toshiaki may not be as good as he is. But again, I don't have their whole perspective. And maybe some people are just unlucky and get frostbite all of the time. I'm shrugging in real life because I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. So, that being said, I would like Cure, but I think we're just going to instead rest at Goizo. So long as we have the thing, because obviously you do need a rest at some point. I don't like to do Tree because that can result in curses that absolutely obliterate Toshiaki. Granted, so those are more. I guess all I'm asking is that when you're talking about whether a character is good or bad in World of Horror, or any other game really, you have to give very specific examples, starting with difficulty, obviously, but a lot of people usually do that, but more than a handful don't really put in the details to kind of give us context, because some of them, sometimes it doesn't make sense and sometimes it does. Now, obviously, statements like, he dies to frostbite are RNG dependent, but that is still a valid concern. That I understand a lot more than certain other things that I've seen. I'm not going to say because, again, I don't have the full context. Now, another obvious weakness of Toshiaki is that he has lower stats, so he will be failing a lot more events, especially on Harbinger, where threat levels are, as far as threat levels are concerned. How much Doom do I have right now, effectively? If I escape, I have 38% Doom, so we're on our third mystery. We're probably going to run from our friend as well. But hey, to that same, just because I remember it now, as another house rule is I'm just going to run or something from Burning Man. I mean, I'll defeat them with the power of Improvise, but I won't improvise more is what I'm trying to say. So that's my plan there. And with 2 strength, I should be able to punch. If I get this, I think I can handcuff. And I don't have any other mysteries and whatnot. This is as much, but that's as far as I'm willing to go in terms of how much I want to basically nerf Toshiaki here. But if nothing else, as I said at the beginning of this video, I'm very interested to see how this goes for me. Obviously, I do a few test runs, not a few test runs, but I go as far as I can for just a little bit, just to see how viable it is. That's kind of how I balance challenges at the start, unless I'm interested in showing the result of something. Like, I think there's the Samurai challenge that I did with Yashiro, but that I knew was going to be a bit iffy. I wanted to showcase it still because if no one knew how RNG challenges could become, if you didn't already try Ghost Town on Mizuki, then yeah. Although, you can flip that around. You can reverse the chessboard and say that I was focusing on whether or not I wanted cigarettes, but you can flip that chessboard, you can turn the chessboard around, and I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, goodness. Okay, hold on. But Toshiaki here, Commoner is going to be an interesting run if and when I get to it, because without being able to level up, that does hurt Toshiaki quite a bit. Those extra stat points that you get do hurt you more than you think. But at this point, okay, so what I was going to say, in Ghost Town, Mizuki, or any challenges that really limit you, even if you say they're RNG, in a way, they are still... Why did I take that, by the way? They are still a player knowledge check, because then they check you to see if you know how RNG ways to survive, along with, obviously, ZKS loops. But those are... I feel like those happen a lot less frequently than, hey, I ran into Doll Nurse, I can recognize that I can improvise. Even though, yes, those are technically jank strats because design issues, if you want to say that much. I could also go for this. A lot of Doom, though, so we're not. And then our Doom decreases to 62, and we're effectively at 54% Doom right now. But, anywho, let me rewind and finish the point I was making earlier, or the thought I was speaking about earlier, as we get into painting with 3 stamina. This could be really, really iffy. But yeah, being able to recognize things in World of Horror is, whether they're jank or not, they're what we have. So really, if we're being bare bones about it, you know, obviously going for Katana, improvising in Doll Nurse / Burning Man. There's a few other things, but those are the standout examples that you can think of. So, also, the moment we reach the lighthouse, we should be okay. So, hopefully, we don't take any more stamina damage, but we'll see. If we run into an encounter, we get to run... Funny enough, I want to run into encounters now. Even with an extra 10% Doom, we'll be perfectly fine. A sewing kit would be nice, too. But if nothing else, you, the viewer, can determine whether or not Toshiaki is good or bad, or if this challenge is a lot more viable than it seems, because I may die immediately if I take stamina damage. Another way you can look at this is that you can... This is essentially also a knowledge check in terms of event knowledge, because you can purposely try to lean towards events that... You can lean towards events that increase Doom instead, and then not take stamina reason damage, which, again, what I would see is a valid Toshiaki weak point, as it pertains to you fail a lot more events because his stats are lower. That being said, we can't take any of those just because the rules say so. My go-to strategy for Goizo, though, has turned into Cure, because it's just more efficient than resting. I think it is, right? It has to be. 4 out of 5, 4 divided by 5, 0.8 per 1% Doom, and then Cure is 6 divided by 7, which already sounds like it's more, unless I'm going crazy. I should be able to just walk up this lighthouse, though. I mean, you can figure out theoretically if I survive, but we'll try to actually survive. What do we have here? +1 to all stats. Do I need that? I mean, it would make me faster, so we can cast it to... Ooh, no, we can't. So what do we have? Let's assume we fail a lot and get smacked by Takeshi-san twice, so that's... I'm just gonna say he does 4% Doom, because I'm going out of my mind, so 8%. Do we have the 6th floor? No. 8%, 18%, we have 86% in Doom, so we get to rest. And how much damage are we taking? Strength. That's it. Strength, Charisma, and Light, but I'm looking at Stamina, so really we should be just good to rest once here. If not, shrug. But I should be perfectly fine. We'll take 3 Reason, we'll take 3 Stamina, we have a Flashlight. Unless I decide to throw it, I could. Because I know I'll have enough reason to survive. We did footage into Metamorphosis, which is probably not a smart decision, but hey, I'm still alive. And I completely forgot, so I'm just gonna guess. But theoretically, I would have survived. I'm going to be strict on myself, but you can still kind of see where I'm coming from here, as we do a whole bunch of damage to Takeshi-san. We have 2 flashlights, by the way. We might as well. And I think we just, yeah, do this. And then throw a monkey wrench at his fallen body. We don't have the 6th floor. So, away into our next run we go, which will probably be the CTHAC run? CTHAC? Curious Birthmark, right? Yeah. And we're on random timeline just to try to normalize things. But Curious Birthmark is actually a backstory I can see Toshiaki having more trouble in. Because... as we get into CTHAC Curious Birthmark character exclusive perks, I think what I'm going to do is, even if I die, I'll go through the runs. That way, if for no other reason than to kind of obscure the time, if that makes any sense, or you get more gameplay. Hey, basically better for you, the viewer, if you like World of Horror videos, and you can withstand me. So Strength, Knowledge, Second Mystery, Dexterity, Light, Takeshi-san, maybe. But Curious Birthmark is a bad one because you can immediately get curses that, you know, stack up and end up defeating you. I could have also taken Medical History, but I think that's more a boon for Toshiaki. Because the moment you increase Strength, you can't be Frostbite. I think you can get Frostbite on Medical History, right? Injury? I feel like I just griped about that early. Also, I checked the cupboard, but we can just throw this away. I do forget, but... anywho, we'll look for the rumor twice, so I don't flash my eyes into pain. Scissors, Kana, Bulletin, Botanist, Recluse. Here we get Kana, yes, but again, if I get Kana 2 out of 3 times, then as a house rule, I'll re-roll the mysteries. Here I will. But I can't give Toshiaki that much. Takeshi-san. Anywho. And here we look for, again, another advantage for Toshiaki is because of the Doom that he effectively has. You can re-roll in the hardware shops more, so there's less RNG involved with them. Again, Doom is just such an important resource on Harbinger anyway, that it's important. Now, some people may have dismissed my argument because it's like, well, you're only looking at Harbinger, but at the same time, I gave my logic earlier for easier difficulties in that he has enough Doom due to the decrease as well. Because every character benefits and has the same Doom decrease. If it weren't like that, if somehow Kyrie decreased Doom a bit more than other characters, then it would be a different story, but that's not the case. So saying, well, because Doom decreases, Toshiaki's worse doesn't make sense because every character benefits from that. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier, and I kept flubbing up, but anywho. I didn't use the police station yet either, I think, so let's actually use that. I completely forgot which mysteries I had, so we are just going to... we have scissors, but I'm looking... forgot if I had hell or not. I'm just gonna set it to the mansion, just in case. If for no other reason, we can go back. We're Toshiaki, so we have the Doom to kind of reset it. Kind of. Doom is still an important resource, but if I need to, I need to. And here we are. So I could run 3 knowledge. Another point of knowledge allows me to 2-turn most ghosts, but unfortunately, again, we're Toshiaki. Like, this is a real weakness Toshiaki has. Even though you can try to counter that and be like, well, a lot of characters have, you know, stats are not exclusive to a character, even though they are. You know what I mean? Stats are something determined by the character, but if the character starts with the stats, it pretty much belongs to a character, the character themselves, so... Yeah. Anywho. I'm thinking of whether I want to trade stamina. That's really what I'm thinking about here. I have Kana, thankfully. I could also just choose to run. That's... 4 reason damage is a lot to take. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna run here. Oh wait, we're on CTHAC. We can't run. Face tank the damage, I said. Can I brace, actually? No, I can't. I can do this. Ooh. I might as well. But yeah, if I limit the challenge too much... There was something I wanted to say. I didn't say it earlier, which is kind of why I just went silent. Because I figured that it didn't make sense when I was thinking about... When I was about to say it. Anywho, we don't have strength, but this is stamina anyway, and we want to take stamina damage. I'm still comfortable with 6 reason. We'll see if I get trapped, though. We'll trade Doom here. And we'll move on. And we're also about to take Kana here, so we... That 3 reason is... That 6 reason is going to become 3 reason. No, I think I can say it. Well... Yeah, it's kind of odd talking about stats, because, again, characters... You give stats to the characters, so it is a valid point to talk about. At the same time, I can think of the... No, that's the only opinion that makes sense. Because what I was saying earlier about, you know, the stats belonging to every character, I've seen an argument like that where someone said stats, you know, basically they don't matter, even though they do. I know, I personally joke about that all the time. About, you know, stats not mattering in events, but they theoretically do. That's why, again, characters like Toshiaki, early game Aika with no Eldritch Possession, that's why they suffer a lot more. I could pick up the scissors. Do I want to? No, I want to level up more. So we do have Bulletin. That does lead into a lot of village investigation. So let's switch this quickly, actually. But yeah, I basically saw someone say, you shouldn't attribute stats as a reason why a character is good or bad. I'm going to leave you to think about that, but that's a weird argument. So I was going to talk about that. I already talked about it, so that's what I heard. And I was like, that makes no sense. So, and obviously, because there's obviously a difference between Kyrie starting off with 12 knowledge and 5 knowledge. You get what I mean? So stats are not a generic thing, like, say, if we're going by the argument I used earlier. They're not like, say, resting on a non-GOIZO and getting 3% per 4 HP, because every character can do that. It's not like the Doom decrease at the end of every mystery, because every character gets that. What every character doesn't get, I'll use Toshiaki again as an example, as I almost died to reason here, is that he effectively does have extra Doom, because if you clear a run, you've decreased Doom by 5 times, so he does have an extra pocket of 40% Doom, effectively. Where other characters don't get that. Aiko does start with the combat passive, so her stats matter less if you're using weapons, but they still do have an effect. But she does have an inherent speed action. Her offensive combat actions are faster. Haru does get an extra point of damage when he smokes cigarettes now, so it matters a lot more to him. Also, I need to focus, because otherwise I could end up fighting a phone, and I don't want to do that with 5 reason. But we will keep using rest, because we effectively have 7% Doom right now. So, this, again, as the opposite of GOIZO, in CTHAC you face tank damage, but heal outside of combat. Because Toshiaki has it. And obviously he wants to run into a lot of Doom-based enemies, because he has the Doom to spare, but, you know, you can't always do it, as I get flashbacks here, but thankfully I've remembered by now that you can discard that. Now what I want to do... We'll save the old coin in case something really tragic happens, but really we're going to 2-turn this anyway. Or 3-turn this, sorry. I don't remember. I need to focus. But again, my baseline is I personally don't believe Toshiaki is that bad, and this challenge was spawned from someone giving me the challenge, but I'm pretty sure it came from, if not a Discord conversation, although I think I've seen similar things before, it was a Reddit post by someone. And I don't remember if it was a tier list or just talking about Toshiaki, because I've seen both. But anywho, I will agree though. If you're basing your, I guess, your tier list, if you were to talk about those off of a pool of all difficulty runs, then perhaps Toshiaki is a little worse, because again, you might not need the extra Doom, considering that's an argument. Even though I just talked about how difficulty doesn't quote-unquote make a difference, that's in the context of Doom decreasing. But another larger argument is that you don't need all that. Do I want to take this, by the way? I needed knowledge. Ooh. We have funds, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. I'm going to go into scissors to grab stuff to throw. I think that's the plan here. But the overarching argument, we could also go for the scissors. Might want to do that. So I can throw the monkey wrench and the bat here at the roommate is my logic. Maybe I should have done scissors first. No, I was hurt though, right? It's hard to say now. I will go for the scissors. I'm still going to increase strength though. But yeah, let me finish the thought though. The overarching argument is that on easier difficulties, you can do whatever you want. So the Doom decrease matters. Funny enough, it does have an impact, but because you have so much Doom to work with, because of other things like the monument not scaling as hard, items costing less, you starting with funds, then I can see why, again, Toshiaki has less of an impact, because Doom means less in those difficulties. That's the counter argument to, well, Doom decreases for everyone, even though they're both kind of tangential to each other, but they both deal with Doom, so it's kind of important to talk about them. I just face tank this, by the way. I think I will grab the scissors. Yeah, that's the end of that. Unless I can think of more things to say that actually matter. I also did forget my second encounter check, so hey. I can go for a one-shot here. I might as well. I'm gonna two-turn this anyway. It would be very nice. And at that point, anyone arguing at this point is like, oh, you got really lucky hitting 3 attacks in a row. Have you looked at the rules, by the way? I'm already giving myself by not taking whatever's in the cupboard, the jar, sorry. Even though, oh, that's reason, really? Well, I'm in trouble. I'm in a lot of trouble. Oh, this is gonna hurt. And not that I can run anyway. What do we have as our spell? Cure. So we have to use that if we need it. At least I get the scissors here, but we need to get some good RNG. 77% shouldn't be too terrible, and we get bonus damage here. But yeah, probably need to use Cure. I could throw the monkey wrench. If I have Cure, I should, for the sake of not losing stamina and a reason, even though we're about to enter Recluse. I'm thinking this should do 5 damage, right? Please tell me it does 5. Okay, it does. And then we grab the scissors here. Perfect for Toshiaki because the Doom proc from those scissors matters less to him. And yeah, we have Rage. I think, yeah, I'm going to take Knowledge for the Sever damage here. I could heal Reason too. But we have Cure. And we effectively have 19% Doom right now. So we're perfectly fine here. Again, CTHAC, we're just going to face tank everything. No matter what spell you get as Toshiaki, you would more likely use the Doom for the spell, except for obviously Rage here, because the only thing you're fighting is the roommate, and Sever damage does not increase based on Rage, right? But anywho, we need to take the stamina damage. We needed to not take Reason damage. That's all I'm saying. That, I can't remember. That's just funds, right? Well, we get STE counter, but that's just a very unlucky occurrence. But we do lower Doom some more. I could have actually taken stamina, but that 3 Doom at base equals 4 HP, as opposed to the 2 or 3 stamina it heals for you. So we lose more Reason. That's not great. But we have Cure. Again, now that when you have Cure, that's at least the other spell that you can use in an emergency. which is why a lot of people dunk on Toshiaki spells, but when you have to use them, you have to use them. So, I think it takes me 3 turns, because I can throw the wooden bat. We have 4 knowledge, and we have the cursed scissors, so we do a bunch of damage. I could try to do a thing. Let's just cure now in case something weird happens. So we can either go for a brace sever. Can we do a brace sever? No. Or go for a dodge. I think we get a dodge. Dodge is faster, right? So we might as well go for this. And the next turn we'll just trade a bunch of stamina, I think. Because resting at home, as long as we don't have fetid fumes, should be more efficient. I think I can only do 1. Let's make sure it's meditate so I don't accidentally bumblefish my way into death. But we do want to rest a lot in the next mystery, if possible. Otherwise, the bath is all we get, but I'll take bath as well. We still have cure, so we should be perfectly fine. And this is our last mystery. Botanist we go, but we don't care because the doom increase that you would normally get for other characters is mitigated by the Necronomicon. Again, not much else to say at this point. I've already said everything that needs to be said. Heck, I can even smoke a pack of cigarettes here if I want to. I've got more funds than I need, but hey. Hopefully I don't run into anything into downtown. I'm going to play RNG. Nope. Well, here it is. We have 3 stamina. We're fine. But it would have been nice to not run into this. Nothing I can do about it now. We'll move on. Muted my microphone to do a thing. We could buy a spell. We have Doom to spare. Basically trading 5 Doom for a spell, though. If I run into out of funds. Because obviously, again, with Toshiaki, another hot tip, you don't want to take stamina reason damage. If I didn't already say so already, directly. You want to take Doom damage. No reason not to take it, right? We can also go for a... is this a thing? Or do I just want to run? Let's just run. Nope, we can't run. That's right. We're on CTHAC. Tank everything. Although we have Cure, so... Again, it's... it's Toshiaki's so good, man. Anywho. If we got bonus damage, we're good. If not, we get hit. And we move on. We'll wait to use Cure, because I think even Lighthouse Rests are more convenient, but we have Yasugi-san to be a bro and a real man, so... Unfortunately, we never get Thought Flash, but we couldn't take it in this challenge. That's just my RNG as Toshiaki, and I still feel very comfortable with Toshiaki. Like, I don't feel threatened most of the time. Especially compared to other characters. Like, we're gonna get out of this mystery and have sub 70% Doom. I don't know why I'm saying sub, that usually only applies to speedruns. I'm sure it still applies here definition-wise. But basically, we will have a lot of Doom to work with in the Lighthouse. And I think they are more... Yeah, it's 1-for-1 for Doom in the Lighthouse. Unless you need to rest. Resting is obviously better, but Lighthouse are a close second, especially compared to Cure, I think. So at 56% Doom, like, maybe Toshiaki has spoiled me so much that I don't have to look for the second... That I don't have to look for the second encounter, but at the same time, we don't even have the second encounter here, so away we go. Yeah, I don't know. I would never call Toshiaki mid-tier. High tier, like high, maybe not top 3, top 5, but not top 5. I can't see. I just can't see it. Also, I got that wrong, but who cares? I'm Toshiaki. Again, though, a lot of things that other people are saying are on more non-Harbinger difficulties, where I can see that Doom doesn't matter as much, so you don't feel Toshiaki's passive Doom decrease impact as much, along with Thought Flash, but Thought Flash is technically also an I win button. I could also still die here with weird curses stacking, but we shouldn't. I also forgot to smoke the cigarettes. That's just how relaxed I am here. Heck, we'll even throw in a Desperate Prep Strong as my mouse clicks in the background to do things. And that's CTHAC, and what was the other one? Ath Commoner. So I think that's can be the hardest one. We'll see. Ath Commoner, eh? And yes, I could have made a weird cut to kind of put in only good runs. Again, you just have to believe me when I'm going through 3 runs in a recording, but we are going to take Commoner, and we are going to be an Ath. I don't know why the combination is specifically this. That was not decided by me, but I'll accept it, because at least Ath is... Maybe they wanted Ath because you're already on Commoner, but at the same time, that's another thing. Everyone has to deal with Commoner anyway, so no matter which character you are, it's not like the experience debuff is something that's specific to one character. Obviously, you can go into that, like where Juri likes to level up, so Commoner hurts her more, or some characters don't need to level up because Aiko's passive is good, but also Toshiaki's Doom passive is good. The only thing, obviously, is Frostbite is much more of an issue, along with curses and injuries that lower your stats, but let's see what happens. Knowledge, Charisma, Light, second Tachi. Again, I could pass this challenge in this video, and there would still be, you know, there are people who would have bad RNG, so you would try this challenge and just get Frostbite every time or something, especially on Commoner. I think here what I actually want to do, though, there's nothing in the cupboard, so, you know, but as I want to use the History Club, we'll see Hell, Nail, Sailor, Akamanto, Arms. Maybe... Definitely want to get the Monkey Wrench again, because we're gonna die to Frostbite anyway, we might as well take a quote-unquote better weapon. This Heavy Duty is actually better. I don't think it is, right? Akamanto, Sailors, Arms, Nails, Hell. I'm deciding what I want to do. Nails and Akamanto definitely. I'm deciding whether to risk Arms or Hell. Risk Arms, basically. Because I want to take Hell now and get that out of the way. Although, as I've said, because we have a lot more Doom to work on, I had to check something really quickly. I could leave Hell for later, because if we get roads closed, that will probably deal less damage than having a boss and Arms. Whether we recognize that we're on timeline A or B or not. Although, obviously, if we can recognize which timeline we're on, that can better prepare us for the future, but... And then Sailors is obviously last, for Sailors reasons. We do have Akamanto. I guess I'm also hoping to not get Fetid Fumes, but I can try to option select that by grabbing Cure in the thingy. Shebs would also be useful to try to temporarily prevent, because I don't have aside from being in the mansion in Hell, so what you can do if you're scared of Frostbite on Commoner because you can't level up to increase your strength, is to grab Shebs, and when you get into Frostbite land, because you don't get Frostbite immediately, you can pop Shebs and theoretically get rid of the Frostbite, so you don't zero stand. You get what I mean? So basically you're paying 5 Doom to avoid things, along with probably the School Nurse. So I'm thinking here, is Shebs better? If I pick up Shebs and my rests get Fetid Fumes, then I never get Frostbite, obviously that's the worst case there. If I pick up Cure, the worst case is I die to Frostbite. I don't want to introduce any more RNG, though, that I can control, so I guess I do pick up Shebs, right? Shebs is the go-to perk for Toshiaki here on Commoner. So we'll do that. So we're using History Club until we can theoretically get Shebs. Krutski's is okay, but we want Shebs for the Commoner. So we'll look for it. I guess we can also take other stuff. Yeah, this actually, theoretically this, right? Yeah, we grab this. And then we grab the Bookstrap as always. Now, if you do this challenge, an extreme version of the challenge would be to not grab Bookstrap, but at that point, why even play Toshiaki? Aside from the Doom decrease, again, too many limitations or too heavy limitations really becomes just a player knowledge check in terms of where are the I win buttons. But anywho, Monkey Wrench, thankfully immediately. And we'll try to equip the Rock Ring. Well, we can react to equipping the Rock Ring when we get the thing. Oh, that's right. We also... Our strength does lower 1. That's right. Why did I do that, actually, then? I do still need to look for Shebs. Yeah, I need to look for Shebs. So, because I equipped the Monkey Wrench, I could grab something else as well, but... Also, there was a run a long time ago where I took... If we don't find it, so be it. If we don't find it within these next 4 rerolls, we just have to live with it. So we do grab it, 48% Doom. We're effectively at 8% Doom, but we do have Akamanto as well to lower that. We also now have less healing, but hopefully we lose Reason here, so I can do this. What I can do is get... Oh, that's right. Whoops. I need to keep the book strap on. But, again, it's essentially more protection against frostbite. That way I can use less reason. It's going to be a really big swap. So, the rock ring isn't still useless here, because then I only need to cast Shebs once instead of twice to avoid frostbite. And that really should only happen once per run. Now, how lucky I am is completely different. Is a completely different topic, but I didn't visit the police station yet either, but we still have investigations left. I forgot what my other things were. I'm gonna hope at Household Hell, I don't think I had a lot of force investigations, so we're gonna set the police patrols to downtown. And we're probably just gonna face tank everything the guy throws at us. So let's find out. I think actually letting go of the Hermit now would be a thing, but we'll keep 6 luck, by the way. That's unfortunate. That's actually really unfortunate, because now we might need to use the handcuffs. Memory Extract is just reason healing, because we don't have any experience. We might need to handcuff this guy. Depends on if I hit both of these, and we get bonus damage. So we get bonus damage, so that's how I know I can Desperate Prep Strong if I hit both of those and get out without using the handcuffs. At the same time, now we're at effectively 12% Doom. Although, a good 12% more Doom, so we'll be at 24%. We'll probably go to resting. Hopefully I don't get fetid fumes. So, I think I'm actually going to take arms first in the interest of trying to get rid of this boss as soon as possible. Now, if we keep taking stamina damage, that's not good. But we'll do our best. 5-5, and we get to prep strong after this. I might want to actually trade reason. Yeah, I want to trade reason. If for no other reason, haha, funny pun, than to equalize our stamina and reason to rest more effectively. But until we see where the vents connect, let us do a thing. This is Doom, right? No, that's stamina. Why is that stamina? Otherwise, I should have just taken the reason damage. But hey. We are on timeline A, so we are perfectly fine. Again, you could argue, well, Jordan, you're just getting really lucky in your runs. To that, I will still counterpoint that I get myself heavily by doing this challenge in the first place. Also, I'm just eating a bunch of damage here, but it's only reason so far, so that being said, that was a lot of reason to eat, but we're Toshiaki. So we do this. I'm going to do this now in case we have fetid fumes. That way I get all my rest in at this moment. And then we'll run away. We effectively have... What do we have now? 40% Doom. No, 20%. 30% Doom. My goodness, I guessed wrong. Or I did math wrong twice. I still have the Hermit as well, but that's if my stamina falls lower again. Which is why I'm now taking... Well, both the luck check. I forgot that was a luck check. But something that I know would have, I think, decreased stamina? This, however, I think we just run. As great as the bat is, don't want to deal with that. Never mind, we're on timeline B. What? Ito Sensei is timeline B? Was I lied to, or did I lie to myself? I think I lied to myself. Anywho. We're here now. 57%. 3 stamina damage. I guess we do. We do. At this point, though, I can just do this twice. Yeah, we're going to take a bunch of stamina damage, but just for giggles, we'll do this. Not that we get too much out of it, but hey. That we had more optimal options. I'm doing this to kind of get myself more. So. And then we heal stamina here, although really what we're going to do is let go of the Hermit before we get Paranoia as well. That way we get some more Doom to work with, and then we go into Akamanto and rest a bunch. If you wanted to say something, this is something that I've seen as well, or had said to me, is that Toshiaki also really requires a lot of knowledge of the game. So, again, for people who don't like, why does everything depend on player knowledge? Well, I just want to say it's the genre, but I can't really argue when you want to be... I don't know exactly how to say it. When you want, I guess, the challenge to come from the game surprising you, I'm sure there's a more accurate to say it if I'm trying to get into the minds of those people, but do I want this? I can run away from this, right? Yeah, that's more Doom. Unless I take a big risk, but let's not roll on RNG here. And effectively, we have, let's see, 34% lowered, so we're at 33% Doom. This we can kind of take, but it's still quite bad as well. So no. Basically, any Doom we're using here is going to be decreased by the Crestfallen Mass, theoretically. So, nothing else to say about that. That's literally what you're seeing on screen. Again, our Doom looks high for those who are really worried. We're doing that mainly to... Yeah, I could have tried to take Reason, but it wouldn't have given me any reason anyway. And away into the school we go. Don't hurt me too much stamina-wise. Well, never mind, we have the fun, so we'll do that. And into the cursed toilet we go. Also, I don't think we ever picked up library notes, so that drawer rule was nearly not necessary. This, however, it is necessary to hit both of these attacks. That way it can handcuff immediately. For some reason, I waited longer than I should have, but we'll equip the Crestfallen Mask when needed. We'll keep it in our inventory, basically. The branch will help out if we want to squeeze out a bit more damage. But let's take Hell now. Well, Sailors was going to be last anyway, but at the end of Sailors, we can throw away the Rock Ring, basically. That's what we're doing. Keeping in mind, this is after we grabbed Shebs, but it's more a safety net, not an option. I keep calling things option select when they're not, but Shebs was more a safety net in case I ran into the otherworldly event. Now, obviously, if I looked at my mysteries and decided that there was a low chance for me to enter a otherworldly event anyway, well, here in Hell we could, but let's see if we do. Because it's still pretty much a 50-50 coin flip, and then we have to 33% into Frostbite Land, which, funny enough, now would actually kill me, because I would be stuck in this mystery. Also, I am now stuck in here, and I should have healed, but maybe we're fine? Sewing machine, please. Nope. Well, let's hope we survive this. We should just forget this now. There's no point holding on to it. We're in an encounter, but we can run away if need be. And I probably will. We could theoretically defeat it, but let's spend less HP overall. We have 60 to 52% Doom right now. No. Yeah, 52% Doom right now. We'll grab this mask, because no matter what, it's going to help me in some way. We should have also picked up the flashlight, but hey. I don't think... Yeah, that's right. We're on Commoner. We can't have quick thinking, but we thankfully get out of this mansion in one piece. Not the show. Don't hurt me, robots. We also luckily never lost Bath, but hey, I never grabbed any empty bottles and kept them, so away in Sailors we go. We'll keep everything, again, we'll keep everything for now. We can also throw away the flashlight if need be. We're probably going to try to hold on to the branch. I should have actually rested. Actually, we're not on CTHAC. I don't really need to rest. We are on Ath, but hey. Yeah, let's just run. So right now we have 60% Doom. That's why I feel so free to run away. And then we get to lower Doom there. That could have been an otherworldly event. It could still be an otherworldly event. Let's find out. It's not. And then we'll keep moving on here. I think we don't have fetid fumes, right? No, we don't. So I should actually be resting now if I want to heal as much HP as possible for the lighthouse, which I will. We have 66% Doom right now, effectively. Obviously, I don't want to end up dying, but let's just make sure. Grab this, that's a free event, and now we get rid of the branch and the rock ring, because we will no longer get frostbite. We are on timeline B. But I think I could even try to fight this boss, but let's not, because you will do that with most characters on Harbinger anyway, or in most situations. So yeah, that was the challenge for this video. Not really much else to say. I'm gonna ascend this lighthouse. I'm just gonna do whatever the heck I want. Do we have Toshi-san? We don't even have Toshi-san, so we'll equip the Crestfallen Mask and I won't take up more of your time. So if you want to support this channel, or learn more, or want to support me making more World of Horror videos, then please subscribe to the channel. I do have memberships open, and yeah, there's not really much to talk about. I'll just end the run, and that's been the Toshiaki 3-run challenge. I picked 3 runs as a soft little closing note here, because I didn't want to just gamble on 1 run and succeed. So as long as you believe that I've actually... I don't remember. ARMS, I think. I don't care. I'm Toshiaki. As long as you're willing to believe that I have, you know, done this all in fair play. I could just do a stream as well. I will probably die, all things considered. I've done the challenge, so nothing else to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!